When People Rebel 1857 and After Part 1. In this video we will focus on why did India rebel? In 1857, India did not merely witness a rebellion, it witnessed an explosion of long suppressed anger. Soldiers, peasants, rulers, and common people rose together against British authority. Was this just a mutiny or the first war of Indian independence? In this video, we will uncover why people rebelled. The topics we will be discussing in detail are: number 1. Can the revolt of 1857 be called the first war of Indian independence? Number 2. Why did the people rebel? Number 3. Nawabs lose their power. Number 4. Most important factors that triggered the revolt of 1857. Number 5. Immediate cause of the revolt. And number 6. Some important questions for recap. Can the revolt of 1857 be called the first war of Indian independence? Yes, according to many historians, the revolt of 1857 can be called the first war of Indian independence because, number 1, it was started by the Indian sepoys of the British Army as a mutiny. But soon the civilian population joined the sepoys to put an end to foreign rule. Here it is important to understand what is a mutiny. Mutiny is a situation when people in uniform like soldiers refuse to obey the orders of their officers or higher authority. Number 2, people joining the rebellion were from different parts of the country and different strata of the society. Peasants, artisans, and traditional leaders joined the rebellion, creating a broad-based resistance against the British government. Number 3, it was not easy for the East India Company to suppress the revolt of 1857. They took almost 2 years to completely suppress the revolt as it was a widespread, fierce uprising fueled by deep grievances. Thus, while the British historians often labelled it as a sepoy mutiny, Indian nationalists referred to it as the first war of Indian independence to emphasize its unified anti-colonial character, sowing seeds of nationalism despite its ultimate failure and suppression. So the question is, why did the people rebel? The rebel was the result of the accumulated grievances in the minds and hearts of the Indian people for a period of almost 100 years. Victory in the Battle of Plassey in 1757 firmly established the British rule in India. This gave the East India Company an opportunity to exploit the Indian masses politically, economically, and socially. Thus, a century of exploitation and long suppressed grievances from 1757 to 1857 needed only a single spark, and that spark erupted as the revolt of 1857. Nawabs lose their power. So now let us examine the first important cause of the revolt, which was by mid-18th century. The Nawabs started feeling that they are losing their power or authority due to four major causes. First was subsidiary alliance and the second was doctrine of lapse. These 2 points I have explained in detail in my video from Trade to Territory Part 3. For those who are watching my video for the first time, I will briefly explain both the points. Subsidiary alliance was a military protection agreement signed between the East India Company and the Indian ruler. By signing this alliance, the Indian ruler secured the military protection of the company against external aggression and internal unrest, and doctrine of lapse was a policy in which, if in any Indian state which was not under the direct British rule, the king died without a biological male heir, the state was annexed to the British Empire. Third was annexation of Awadh, and fourth was plans to end the Mughal rule. Annexation of Awadh. Awadh was one of the last territories to be annexed. In 1801, a subsidiary alliance was imposed on Awadh. In 1856, it was taken over by Lord Dalhousie. On account of misrule, Wajid Ali Shah, the Nawab of Awadh, was deposed and his kingdom was taken over by the British government. The British government stated that British rule was needed to ensure proper administration. Wajid Ali Shah was removed based on the exaggerated report submitted by the resident on his incompetence. This act of the British angered the Indians and hurt their sentiments. Wajid Ali Shah was not only a competent ruler but also extremely loyal to the British. So it was seen by the Indians as a betrayal on the part of the British. Wajid Ali Shah was exiled to Calcutta in 1856. In 1857, his son Birjas Qadir was installed on the throne of Awadh by the rebels, and Begum Hazrat Mahal led the revolt in Lucknow against the British. Plans to end the Mughal dynasty. With careful planning and calculated moves, the company systematically started eroding the foundations of the Mughal Empire in the following manner. Number one, the name of the Mughal emperor was removed from the coins minted by the East India Company in 1835. Number two, it was declared in 1849 by the Governor General Dalhousie that after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the royal family would be shifted out of the Red Fort. And number three, in 1856, Governor General Canning decided that Bahadur Shah would be the last Mughal emperor. It was also announced that Bahadur Shah's descendants would not be recognized as emperor. Thus, step by step, the company tightened its grip and worked steadily to dismantle the authority of the Mughals. The second most important reason for the revolt of 1857 was peasant discontent. This was due to high taxes. The land tax was so high that many a times the peasant had to take loan from the moneylender for paying the tax. And if he failed to pay back the loan on time, he lost his ancestral land to the moneylender. Number two, rigid method of tax collection. If the fixed tax was not paid on the specified day, the peasant and even the zamindars were evicted from their land. Number three, no land security. Neither the peasant nor the zamindar enjoyed land security. However, the condition of the peasant was worse as they had to face the exploitation of both the zamindars and the company. Number four, forcing the farmers to grow cash crop. The government forced the farmers to grow cash crops, particularly indigo, cotton and opium. This became a significant contributing factor to the revolt of 1857 as it led to intense economic exploitation, debt traps, food scarcity and social oppression. And point number five is connected to the fourth point, that is, this led to severe food shortage. The shift towards cash crops led to a decline in food production, causing widespread food shortage and famines. From 1765 to 1858, Bengal experienced 12 famines and 4 severe food scarcities. The third important cause for the revolt of 1857 was sepoy discontent. The first reason for the discontent was disparity between Indian and British soldiers. There was a huge disparity in the pay, allowances and the service conditions between the sepoys and their British counterparts. Number two, the sepoys had limited promotion opportunities. However efficient, committed or loyal a sepoy was, he had no scope of promotion to the post of an officer. He could at the best become a subedar. Number three, no regards for the religious sentiments of the Indian sepoys. Many British laws were insensitive towards the religious beliefs and sentiments of the Indian sepoys. For example, in 1824, the sepoy were told to go to Burma by sea route. When the sepoys refused to use the sea route, they were severely punished, and in 1856 the company passed a law which stated that every person who got recruited to the British army had to agree to serve overseas if required. In Hinduism, crossing the sea was considered a taboo. Sepoys were also forbidden to wear any caste marks. The story of Enfield rifle was also regarded by the sepoys as a mark of disrespect to their religious sentiments and became the immediate cause for the revolt of 1857. Number 4. Exploitation of the masses in the countryside. Exploitation of the masses in the countryside significantly fueled discontent among the Indian sepoys, as most of them belonged to the peasant families. They had strong ties with the rural communities and were deeply affected by the economic hardships faced by their families and communities due to British policies. Responses to reforms. One important reason for the civilian population to join the mutiny was their response to the various social reforms introduced by the company. For example, sati was banned legally in 1829 by Lord William Bentinck and widow remarriage was legalized in 1856. Both these reform laws were strongly opposed by the Hindu conservatives. They took this as an interference in their religious and social customs. Introduction of Western education and English medium in government-aided schools was also seen by many Indians as a threat to the established education system of the country. Freedom was given to the Christian missionaries in movement and acquiring property. The efforts of the missionaries to convert people were regarded as a disruption of the traditional religious beliefs, social structures, and cultural identity. Making the procedure of conversion to Christianity was made easy by the government by introducing the Caste Disability Removal Act, which was passed in 1850 by the British government. To make the procedure of conversion to Christianity easy, the law allowed an Indian who had converted to Christianity to inherit his or her ancestral property. Immediate cause. The company introduced the new Enfield rifle. The seal of the cartridge had to be bitten before loading it in the rifle. Soon the news spread that the cartridge was greased with the fat of cow and pig. Sepoys took it as a deliberate attempt to convert them into Christianity. It made them angry and furious as they felt that the British government was intentionally playing with their religious sentiments. Both the Hindus and the Muslim sepoys refused to use the new Enfield rifle. This led to the situation of sepoy mutiny in several places beginning from Meerut in May 1857. A large number of people from different sections of the society also rose up in rebellion. The spark at Meerut soon turned into a raging fire that shook the very foundation of the British rule in India. Some important questions for recap. Number 1, why some historians have called the revolt of 1857 as the first war of Indian independence, or why the Sepoy Mutiny was called a popular rebellion. Number 2, how gradually the British government was eroding the powers of Indian ruling class. Number 3, why were the peasants and the sepoys unhappy with the British government. Number 4, what was the immediate cause of the revolt of 1857. Number 5, the Christian missionaries had the support of the British government, justify. And number 6, why some social reforms introduced by the company were resented. In part 1, we have understood the major causes behind the revolt of 1857. In part 2, we will trace the spread of the revolt and understand its major consequences. Thank you for watching. If you found the video useful, please like, share and subscribe Indrani's History channel.